Tohle nezvládneme. Kingdom Hearts je až moc silná síla. Všechny ty přípravy byly k ničemu.
Promiň mi to. Omlouvám se za všechno. Myslel jsem, že vím vše, ale ve skutečnosti nevím nic.
Možná kdybych měl trochu víc času, ale vím, že už je pozdě. Celý herní svět bude zničený.
Možná je to ještě jedna cesta, ale vyžaduje to velkou oběť. Pořád mám svůj stroj času a mohl bych ho mírně upravit, aby nás dostal do jiné dimenze, kde budeme prozatím v bezpečí. Ale obávám se, že už nebudeme nikdy stejný. Těžko říct, co se nám stane. Můžeme vypadat úplně jinak. Můžeme ztratit náš hlas. Dokonce se nám může stát to nejhorší.
Klidně budu riskovat svůj život. Tohle je důležitější.
Ne, tak rozhodně to naštěstí není. Ale může se stát, že celá tahle show změní jazyk.
Ne.
Je to tak. Podle mých propočtů je tento výsledek ten nejpravděpodobnější. Jsi na to připravený?
Dobrá, tak jo. Můžeme. Na druhou stranu, třeba nám to přinese víc diváků.
A tím pádem i více síly proti Kingdom Hearts. To je pravda. Není čas ztrácet čas. Vzhůru!
They work. Everything looks the same. Oh, I see.
Told you this would happen.
Well, at least we can still understand each other, but how long would we have to be here?
I'm not sure if we will ever make it back. But first thing first, I brought us here for a reason. There is an artifact of great power that will help us get even more time, but its location is hidden.
And you happen to know where?
Not exactly, I just know where we can get the location from.
Can I be of any help?
More than that, it's your area of expertise. It's in a game. We're looking for a dagger of time. You have to go through a game I have buried in my lab somewhere. Let me find it.
I thought you were not into games.
I am not. However, I am into science, and this is a very unique specimen. An artifact from an age long gone. 2003. Ha! There it is. Now go. Finish that game. I am told the secret hint is at the end of it. I could never make it past the first level.
You can count on me. See you later. I have a world to save. I'm saying this. Over 5 years since I last sat down here and spoke about a game. The next time was supposed to be a grand battle with the dark forces of Kingdom Hearts, but instead, the preparation for the battle continues. Let's begin. We wasted enough time already. I gotta say, I'm impressed right from the bat. An immersive transition from the title screen right into gameplay in 2003 is really impressive. Can't wait to see how far they'll push this.
Most people think time is like a river.
Wait, what?
Yeah, after 2 seconds of gameplay, the game throws you into an exposition cutscene where the main character spits out a philosophical debate worthy of Aristotle before telling you he's a prince of a Persian king.
I know, a truly shocking discovery in a game called Prince of Persia.
And he's currently on a vacation in India with his father, spreading their love and kindness to the local leader.
Let's just say this family has some issues, but maybe the prince is one of those I'm different kind of people in their family.
And right away, all he wants to do is to make his dad proud by robbing the treasure vault of the palace they just invaded.
What is it with so many main characters of the games I play for this series being gigantic pricks? Am I just unlucky, or was that a theme back in the early 2000s? And yes, I know a lot of you are completely unaware that this is not actually the first episode. Sorry for that confusion. Anyway, we should not make quick judgments. Maybe he'll have a redemption arc over the course of the game. I'm sure he'll actually turn out really nice and considerate. Anyway, let's actually talk about the gameplay. That's why we're here after all.
So, after 2 seconds of seamless gameplay and the exposition, the game spits you out in the palace in the middle of the raid and gives you the first proper taste of the controls. The prince definitely doesn't skip leg day, as he can jump distances Olympic athletes will be proud of, and also is capable of running up and along walls.
I have to say, the moveset is really nice, and it feels very smooth for a game that's over 20 years old. This was my favorite part throughout the playthrough, especially as it expanded. You can jump off of the walls, swing on poles. It is all extremely satisfying once you get in the zone, and the level design plays into it very well, even though sometimes it can get a little bit obtuse about where to go next.
After the first few jumps, you get nearly obliterated by an explosion, which would at least make the quest to finish the game and allow me to get to the secret at the Anesia. The game presents you with an exciting prompt.
I think I did pretty good. Whoa, I know I said exciting, but I didn't mean like that. Put your sword back in the sheath, Prince. I don't think objects can consent.
Speak for yourself.
What?
Forget to mention that this dimension has some interesting quirks. Just ignore that. How's it going?
I barely started, but it doesn't seem too difficult for now.
Glad to hear that. Keep going, I'll get everything else ready in the meantime.
Alright, good luck.
I don't need luck, I have my set of skills. Well, good luck to you.
Thank you. Hey!
Luckily, the prince does actually repress his primal instincts, which leads to our first proper battle. The combat is a fairly simple affair. You have an attack button, a block button, and a dodge button that I did not need for this fight or for most of the game at all. And after defeating the enemy, he just sinks to the ground for some reason.
Maybe they sink in the sands of time, and it's a metaphor for how time will eventually lead us to rest underground forever. Or maybe they just needed to save on resources so that the game would actually run on the PS2. Both are equally as likely. I did take some damage though.
Luckily for us, we get introduced to the method of healing very soon after, and the solution is to drink water.
That's right. No potions, no food, no magical spells, just plain, regular, not enhanced, not blessed, not infused with special minerals, dihydrogen monoxide. Hydro homies will be proud. Thank you, Prince, for spreading the awareness of how healthy drinking water is. Everybody at home, go grab a glass of water right now. I can see how dehydrated you are.
After defeating a few more sinking enemies and making some sick parkour tricks, we stumble upon an artifact that would finally make our dad proud of us, the Dagger of Time.
Interesting. It looks different from the material I studied.
Are you saying it's real?
Yes, although maybe it just shares the name. The artifact we're going after has the power to alter the timeline in a very limited ways. Mainly, it will give us some more time to prepare for the fight.
Interesting. So, should I just keep going?
Yeah, don't mind me. I will get back to my research.
The Dagger of Time is a very precious artifact, so of course it is heavily guarded by a bunch of obstacles. Thank the heavens the game gives me all the secret information about how to get past them.
Avoid spiky poles. Well, thank you for telling me that, game. I would have walked right into those huge poles with spinning blades. I thought they would heal me.
After making it through the deceitful poles, some very narrow ledges and the literal mines of Moria, we finally obtain the dagger and find out it can rewind time.
I know, a very surprising ability for the Dagger of Time.
With the dagger in our possession, we make it back to our father, who was able to reach the main room with another sacred item, the Sands of Time.
That's the title of the game!
Which he just steals from the Maharaja, truly a great role model for our prince. However, his vizier was promised a piece of the treasure too and tries to take the dagger, but the prince refuses, and our dad actually sides with us.
See, maybe he's not so bad after all. All he did was order a slaughter of hundreds of innocent people, steal from the country they invaded, yeah, and also he just kidnaps a few women in the palace, I guess for some fun later. Yeah, okay, he is pretty bad.
But karma is going to get all of us, and sometimes it comes sooner than you think. Right after we get back home, the vizier tells everyone that only the dagger can unlock the Sands of Time. So of course we just do it, which turns everyone in terrible sand monsters. The prince and one of the ladies we kidnapped luckily escapes in time, and the real game begins.
I have just one question. What exactly did they think would happen? No one ever questioned why they should unlock it. Did they expect to get younger, granting them eternal life? Or use it as a weapon against their enemies? But then why would they unlock it in the center of their palace? I guess we'll never know now. The game never brings it up again, and I have a lot of trouble on my hands right now.
Just because we got lucky doesn't mean everyone got the same treatment. The sand monsters that used to be the residents and gods are not very happy with our non-sandy nature, and we get to the very first fight with the enemies we will be up against for the rest of the game. Fighting these enemies is a little bit different from the ones in the first area. Instead of sinking in the ground, these guys, and sometimes girls, stick around until you thrust the dagger into them, preventing them from getting revived way faster than it happened to that one guy around 2000 years ago. I also love this multi-enemy combat tip, as it is the only type of combat you'll find in this game. I don't think I remember a single fight which would not include at least 3 enemies.
Now this kill confirm mechanic is pretty cool, but it has one slight issue. The animation takes so damn long and completely locks you in, so you cannot cancel it or move out of it. Sometimes the enemies are considerate and just wait for you before the animation finishes, but most of the time you can very easily get hit while in this animation, ruining your chances of killing the enemy while taking more damage in the process. And because you constantly get thrown into scenarios with multiple enemies, you can never catch a break from this. And if you get the clever idea to lure some of them away, or if you just want to heal mid-fight with one of the fountains that are very frequently placed on them, you usually can't, because the enemies just teleport to you, completely erasing all possible movement strategies from the equation.
If it wasn't very clear already, I am not a fan of the combat in this game. I never felt satisfaction from getting through a fight, mostly just a sense of relief that it's over and I can move on to the other parts of the game. Eventually you can find some strategies to cheese the fights, like the wall jump, which throws most enemies right to the ground, and the best move, the freeze, which uses one combat charge that can only be recharged by sucking the enemies. The sand out of them, I mean. The main issue I had with this move was the targeting. Very often I tried freezing an enemy only for the prince to decide an already frozen enemy needed some acupuncture and kept stabbing the wrong guy. The very last move you have is the slowdown, which I never really understood the use for, as it slows down the entire game, including the prince, so it never helped me in any meaningful way.
It really is a shame that the combat is so weak in this game. It feels very slow and clunky, the animations take forever, and you can easily get interrupted without much you can do since you get locked into animations easily. Not to mention, good luck to you if you get knocked down. Trying to get up is more difficult than getting up from your bed on a workday, as you get constantly pummeled back into place, which also feels oddly like a workday. However, that is just one part of the game. There's also the platforming sections.
And as much as I hated the combat, the platforming was actually delightful for the vast majority of the playtime. It feels responsive and tight, while also heavy enough to make the prince feel like a real human and not a video game character with supernatural leg strength. Running along walls, jumping off of them, swinging on poles, it never stopped being fun for the entire playtime, and it only made the janky and sluggish combat sections that much worse, since they always put a sudden halt to the best parts of the game.
But let me get back to the beginning for now. Remember the lady that also survived? We meet up very early on in the game and start going through the palace together. And this is where we get to know that the prince is kind of a huge jerk towards women.
Come back!
Now how will I get through?
I don't know. Can't you crawl through a crack or something?
My own fault. With women, you need to show them you're in charge right from the start, or they'll walk all over you. I've been too indulgent. Probably because I felt sorry for her. Well, it stops now. From now on, she'll have to toe the line. What better way to tame her insolence? It's not so bad for a woman to have a little spirit. It's a challenge!
Yeah, I don't know if the developers expected you to root for this guy, but I was definitely tempted to accidentally throw him off of the cliff a few times. Which luckily I could do without any repercussions, as you can use the power of the dagger to rewind the time back, should you have an accident. or a particularly mischievous mood.
You can also rewind in combat. However, I'm not too stoked about the decision to reset the rewind timer every time you kill an enemy. So if you kill an enemy but die right after, you can't rewind at all and just die for real, which makes killing the enemies even less rewarding than it already was.
Overall, I must say I am enjoying the game quite a bit. At least I was, until I got here.
In this part of the game, you end up balancing on a narrow beam while these sandbirds fly down to attack you. In this position, you cannot dodge and you cannot block. You can only attack, and if you miss the timing, you get picked and knocked off the beam, forcing you to climb back up, which is just immensely annoying more than anything else.
However, that balancing section is nothing compared to the ropes in the well.
I never understood exactly how the rope physics worked even after I finished the entire game. Even though I pointed the analog stick in a certain direction, the prince had a mind of his own and kept swinging all over the place. And the timing needed to make the jumps feel near frame perfect. I tried swinging lower on the rope and died. Tried swinging higher on the rope and died. Try letting go earlier and died. Try letting go later, still died. I spent this amount of time in this one room just swinging on these ropes, trying to make the jumps work, constantly seeing the prince plummet down to his doom over and over again. This section will give me flashbacks whenever I see a rope for some time. Luckily, the game did save just before this section, so I could go back and try again very easily.
And speaking of saving, let's talk a little bit more about that in detail. You can save the game at these specific sand deposits, I guess, and before the game lets you save, it will also show you a vision of what's to come in the next section of the game. Sometimes it can give you hints, but most of the time it's just a neat little teaser. Except for the moments where Prince just dies. Those never actually happen, so I thought there might be some interesting twists about the flow of time and changing the future. But no, the game literally never brings it up or explains these in any way, shape or form. Normally I'd have a nice segue to me talking about the story. The issue here is there is no real story to speak of. The entire game is you going through various areas of the palace trying to get back to seal the sands of time. There's very little dialogue and plot, and if there is, it's usually the prince hitting on women and then 5 minutes later wanting to marry the girl. No in between. But then you get to the final parts.
And it's here where it seems the developers didn't really have enough time or budget to fully polish the game. It all begins in the elevator to the tower where the sands are kept. This holds the single worst combat sequence in the entire game. As you're trying to fend off the never-ending hordes of enemies, you also have to try to protect the girl, who can die if you're not careful enough, while listening to her moans that will make your roommates wonder if you're playing a game or you're playing with your joystick instead. What really doesn't help is that she is standing on a platform separated from the rest of the arena by a bunch of walls, which usually leads to you being stuck and unable to move, which can snowball into being pretty much stun-locked and stabbed to death.
Oh, and I forgot to mention, she can actually hit you with her bow by accident, causing you to take quite a bit of damage. I agree that the prince deserves this, but that doesn't change the fact it feels a little unfair. But after you survive this insane gauntlet, you get to the end parts of the game, which is where it really falls apart for me.
After finally making it to the top of the tower, you try to seal the sands of time, but the evil Wazir faster and blasts you off the tower into the crypt, where you witness a truly heartfelt scene between the two lovebirds.
I didn't mean what I said.
No, you're right. All that's happened is my doing. I wanted honor and glory. I brought this on us.
You are brave and good.
No, this is not an editing mistake on my part. You're watching the actual cutscene, just a smoke gif with voices in the background. And this goes on for almost 2 minutes. 2 minutes of some random smoke effects with voices in the background. And after that, the prince climbs into a coffin, which leads to an insanely long staircase. So long I thought I must be missing something, but no, you just have to keep going down until you reach the bottom. And right there, the worst puzzle in the entire game.
So you come up to a bunch of doors, and you're supposed to pick the one, Ferris, that's the name of the girl by the way, where her voice is coming from. The main issue here is that she's silent most of the time. So you're just standing there, waiting for the game to decide to give you something to go off of. And this goes on for quite a while, so I just decided to look up the solution so I would not fall asleep.
I'll just speedrun through the rest. You go to a bath together, she steals the dagger, and after a really weird and tacked on section with nothing going on, you finally get it back. Sadly, Farah falls to her death in the process. Karma is inevitable, I guess. We unlock the sands, which sends us back to the very beginning of the game. But this time, we have the dagger in our possession. So we go on to warn Farah of the danger, but the Vizier beats us to it. And the final showdown begins. And oh boy, what a showdown it is.
So basically the entire fight is you waiting around until he gets tired, and then you jump over him and hit him, and then you just do it again and again, and after some hits he sends out another clone who you think would have different moves or something, but no, it's the exact same enemy with the exact same attacks, and then it happens again.
But when you defeat the third clone, we get a cutscene. And we're ready for phase 2 against the actual Vizier. No more clones now. This will finally be the epic climax we have been waiting for. Bring it on. There's no way that's it, right?
Indeed it is. After you hit him with a single combo, he just dies, and the game ends, with the prince getting rejected by Farah and fleeing. Roll credits.
The final portions of the game just felt really unfinished to me. The contrast in quality is really stark. And it's a shame because I enjoyed it for the most part, except for the combat. Without the combat, it might have even got my highest grade, the Golden Wallaby. But with the clunky combat and the poor climax of the story and the goddamn ropes, I have to resort to a Silver Koala.
Thank you for that, but the most important part is yet to come. Let's watch closely. I was right! I mean, of course I was. I am always right. No time to lose. Let's get there right now. It's not that far from here.
Should I mark the coordinates?
No need. I got them memorized.